for a while, she thought, why should I complain? I have a roof over my head. I have food. So when I was talking about, well, does this consider abuse? It was actually eye-opening to her because in her mind, she thought it's just how it is and it's the norm. So with this program, it brings awareness. They know what's a healthy relationship, what's not a healthy relationship. A lot of the times they'll say things like, well, it's just me, it's behind doors, my children don't know what's going on, he's not hitting the children, it's not abuse. So then we also teach them about child abuse, because even though the children are not being hit, the fact that they are witnessing or that they're hearing is considered child abuse. And that's also like an eye-opener for our clients because they think their children are fine. And so that's another thing that we're able to provide and say, hey, if your child witnessed this abuse, even if it's a small child, we know what the research has shown is that even infants are affected by violence. So them being present in a room where mom is being yelled at, or things are thrown at her, or there's hitting or violence, this can actually affect that child's brain. There's research behind it, and this can affect them in their development. So them knowing that, it's also like, okay, I do need to do something about it. Because a lot of the times they'll say, well, I have to stay for my children. But then they hear how children are affected, and it's like, no, I have to leave for my children because I don't want them to be affected by this. And so also getting the children connected to therapy as well, just for them to understand that this is not a healthy relationship. It's not in my head. I'm not being picky, or I'm not just trying to pick a fight with my partner. This is actually not okay. We know that we now gave her the tools and the information, and that whenever that day comes and she's ready, she'll know what to do. She was very grateful for her services, and she did feel very empowered, and she felt at ease knowing that what was happening was not normal because she was thinking that it was. It is challenging as a home visitor to hear these stories. We have to go in there with the mindset of letting them know that we're there to listen and we're there not to judge. And I think that's very crucial and important because that's something that they really need. And by sharing their story, they are already empowering themselves. We know that it actually takes about 7 times for them to actually leave their abuser and offering these services to our clients. We know that we may not see that, but we know that we have already planted that seed, and we have already given them the information and tools that whenever they're ready, they'll know, where to go.
This is the longest stretch of time I've gone without talking to her. She's now my thriving client, and her situation was very crazy. Like one day I would call her and she would be whispering under her voice. She can't talk on the phone. And then the next one I would call and like, no, this is not a DV relationship. And then the last time she called me like crying, left me a voicemail. She's like, I need you to call me. She wouldn't tell me what exactly happened. She just said she needs to get out of there. It turns out that he does throw things at her. He does it in front of the kids. I didn't know her in person. She was very frustrating because she is new to the country. So I was like, oh, maybe she doesn't understand. This was before I knew it was a TV situation. I would tell her in Spanish, like, oh, send me your address so I can drop her off donations. And she kept telling me this was her address. And I'm like, can you verify it? Because it's not coming up on maps. She said, yeah, that's the address. I said, okay, can you send me a picture of your address? A completely different address. Then she wouldn't answer the phone. Her phone would be disconnected. She said my husband took away the phone. So it was very frustrating trying to get connected with her. So I finally did convince her to come in the office. And it was like a completely different thing to see like the struggle on her face. She is accepting the information, but I think that she doesn't speak a dialect, but it's just like this is a different world for her. She ended up reporting that the husband would be very upset with her for simply asking him to be in the delivery room with her. He got very upset, so he threw a dish at her, then he broke a 65-inch TV. I let her know, I'm a mandated reporter. I do have to report it, specifically because this happened in front of the baby. Then we had our next appointment, and she was like so happy. She said, thank you so much for sending this PS to my house. She was so happy because she said that it was like a light bulb click for him. He's still not doing the best. What she specifically said was, I feel like he now knows that I have people behind me. So he can't just treat me however he wants and do whatever he wants. He now knows that I have moms. So she was very thankful for that. So now they have a worker. I think she comes out once a week. And then there's another worker for her husband. And they come and pretty much just give support to the family and provide education. What you're doing is not okay. It's abuse. And if this happens again, you will be taken to jail. Now she does the Calo rides. So she comes here every time in person. One time she even walked 30 minutes to get to our Thriving appointment. I think she's really like open to the services that we're giving her.